Dancing all day, dancing all day, dancing all night.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my fancy review show! It's not that fancy, but it's a review show! So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about a wonderful film that I watched last week entitled Mom and Dad. Now, you might be thinking, Mom and Dad? Well, that sounds like a bunch of boring garbage. Well, guess what? It isn't. It's a horror thriller that I actually saw at Fantastic Fest last year, and it's finally out on VOD and in theaters currently, so you have no excuse. You should see this movie. You can probably get it on iTunes and other such, Amazon and all those things. But let's just get right into this. Mom and Dad, you know, all I knew about this movie last year before I went to Fantastic Fest was it stars Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair, and it's just like a batshit crazy movie. So you might know Brian Taylor as the man who wrote and directed all of the Crank movies, as well as Ghost Rider: The Spirit of Vengeance. This movie is absolutely insane. From the moment it starts, it's just a roller coaster ride. The soundtrack is really awesome. And of course there's going to be spoilers in this review, so eventually, I won't get to the spoilers yet. But for those of you that haven't seen the movie, in fact, maybe if you haven't seen the movie, stop now. Like I said, it's available on iTunes or Amazon or whatever. Just watch the movie at home, get your friends together, get your family together, get ready to watch a totally batshit crazy movie. But it's Nicolas Cage at full Nicolas Cage, and Selma Blair being awesome, as always. I love Selma Blair. And it's just pure high-octane insanity. It's just... you know, it's very John Carpenter. It's not very gory for those of you that are, that kind of stay away from the gore, the horror gore genre, but, it is very, intense. There's a lot of scenes in this movie where you can't believe what you're really seeing, but, again, it's all done in a really tongue-in-cheek, funny way, as long as you're looking at it that way, I guess. If you become too invested in a movie to the point where you can't really see past the horrors that your main characters are going through, then maybe stay away from this one. But it's worth it just to see Nicolas Cage going absolutely insane and losing his mind. And he has this monologue in the movie that's absolutely wonderfully acted and presented, and you know, it's that type of monologue that you'd think would be cheesy, and if you summarize it, it sounds like it could be a cheesy monologue, but it's performed so real, and the subject matter is so real. It seemed like we were just, like, almost as if they just caught Nicolas Cage in this moment, kind of confessing to us what has happened to his life and what kind of person he's become. And it really is just, the whole movie is sort of about out with the old and in with the new, and how when you get old, you start to lose a lot of yourself, and you see, as a mom and dad, which I wouldn't know, but as a mom and dad, and I've seen this with my own friends and family who are moms and dads, is that you begin to see yourself in your children, and you start to long for the good old days of being a youth, and you know, it's really fun. Okay. Ugh, my phone's all the way over there. It kind of feels to me a little bit like a Shaun of the Dead, a less British Shaun of the Dead, a less playful Shaun of the Dead, and just, it's very fun, very shocking, very cool. I guess I could kind of summarize it as, if you like Shaun of the Dead, if you like John Carpenter movies, if you like the Purge movies, because, or the Final Destination movies, I guess, sort of detached, but if you like the Purge movies, you know, because you like seeing this kind of mayhem and these people try to get away from a terrible danger. But if you also like satire and Nicolas Cage and kind of bonkers plot lines and horror movies, then this is absolutely a movie for you. I took a bunch of my friends to see it, and they all absolutely loved it. I couldn't wait for people to see this movie after I saw it at Fantastic Fest. If I could give a film a review, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. leaning incredibly close to a 10 out of 10. And the only reason why, here, I'll get into some spoiler territory now. The only reason why I would dock this movie any kind of point at all is because in the very beginning, it gives you the cast list. And so you see the cast list, and then boom, Lance Henriksen. Also featuring Lance Henriksen. And it shows him. It's like a really cool kind of grindhousey stylized credit sequence where it shows kind of like clips from the movie in like really disassociated ways and kind of like vague moments, so you're not really sure. You know you're in for a kind of violent ride, but this kind of doesn't give away any of the plot points, except it shows Lance Henriksen, and it says featuring Lance Henriksen. And by the way, huge Lance Henriksen fan. Loved him in Aliens and just basically, you know, Pumpkinhead, anything. I don't know. He's fucking amazing. You know, they showed him right off the bat, and I'm thinking, holy shit, Lance Henriksen is in this? That's so fucking cool. And maybe they expect you to forget that he's in it by the time this kind of pops back up in your head. But in the beginning of the movie, they established that Nicolas Cage's parents are going to come visit later that evening. Because it's been a while and they want to see the kids and such. And so, so they established that right off the bat. And then moms and dads start going crazy. There seems to be this kind of static, TV static, that you can hear on the TV and on the radio, and that seems to be what's transmitting this sort of virus. Like a psychological virus, for lack of a better definition, that causes anybody who's a parent to want to instantly kill their children. It's bonkers, it's crazy, it's fucking madness. So yeah, they established that moms and dads go kind of nuts and want to kill their children, and then so halfway through the movie, I guess if you're a thinking man, or a thinking person, if you pay extra close attention to things, like I can sometimes do, I instantly was like, oh shit, Lance Henriksen is Nicolas Cage's dad for sure, which is so fucking cool. Just thinking about that, because Nicolas Cage and Lance Henriksen in a movie, already amazing. But then I was thinking, fuck, that means that Lance Henriksen is probably gonna save the day and kill Nicolas Cage and save the children. And I instantly thought that. I thought that like halfway through the movie, if that. And I was like, fuck, they shouldn't have shown us that Lance Henriksen is in this movie. They should have kept that a secret. But I don't know. I mean, all it does is by the end of the movie, when the mom and dad, when the grandparents show up, that moment should be huge. It should be like, oh shit, I forgot the grandparents. They're also going to be affected by this crazy virus. Oh shit, it's about to go down. Like, you're supposed to feel that way, and I think there's probably a percentage of the audience that did feel that way when that scene happened. But I just wish that there was no opportunity for anybody to even try to guess that that's kind of what happens at the end of the movie. But again, look, it's not really how the movie ends, and it's not as simple as Nicolas Cage's parents showing up and kicking ass and saving the children. There is really much more, there's more of a complex ending than that, and kind of an open-ended one at that. And which I highly enjoyed. I really loved how the movie ended, and that's another thing. Like, movies like this, they end horribly. They drag on. The concept doesn't work, or by the time you get to the third act, it's just like cliche after cliche. But it's not. Anyway, I loved it so very much, but forget about me. Let's find out what the Stardust community thought of the movie by going through these reviews from Stardust users. And by the way, if you want to get in on this portion of the show, all you gotta do is click on the link in the description, download the Stardust app using my link, which helps me out a lot. Very nice of you. And just at me, just do at Steve Zaragoza on your review there. All you gotta do is just record yourself on your phone saying, hey, I saw this movie, it was great, or I hated it, and then you just select. It's very easy. You select which movie you're talking about through a list of auto-populated movies once you type in the name, and then you select that movie, and then you can tag me in that, at Steve Zaragoza, and I'll see it and collect it and add it into this portion of the show. So anyway, without further ado, let's find out what you guys thought about Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad has total moments of turning off the lights in like a kid's classroom and watching everybody go fucking nutsoid. There's some totally kick yourself in the nuts, batshit crazy moments, and it feels like a fun ride sometimes. A lot of it's in the trailer, though. It's a pretty good movie. It's just exactly what you expected to get from the trailer. There's no, like, not a whole lot more inside of its ass. Holio?
What?
Mom and Dad is a pitch-black comedy from director Brian Taylor that boasts a balls-to-the-wall crazy performance from Nicolas Cage and a surprisingly really funny performance from Selma Blair, who is the underdog of the movie but the true MVP. It's a little too short. I could have used it maybe 15 more minutes of insanity because it has a great third act. It takes a little too long to get there, but it's a lot of fun, especially for a midnight movie. But again, just wish it would have been about 15 minutes longer to have more of that fun, crazy third act shit.
I'm sorry, did you just say surprisingly Selma Blair was funny? Selma Blair is funny. She's great. She's in a lot of great movies and is very funny. Also, to the point of making the movie longer, I think it's the perfect length. I think you go any longer with that and you start to get a little fatigued. By the end of the movie, the audience, the second time I saw the movie, the audience I was with were just like howling and screaming and reacting the way that you would want them to react to a movie like that. And I think by the time the movie's over, you finally get a moment to relax. I think any longer than what it was, and it would have been a little too much.
I just got back from seeing the movie Mom and Dad with my parents who are in town right now, and we had such a great time. It was such a fun, weird, crazy movie. Right, Mom? Mom, where'd you get that hammer? Mom? Mom!
I watched Mom and Dad. It's a reimagining of the 70s and 80s killer kid movies, only this time the adults are killing the kids because the kids don't use their youth wisely. They should be out doing drugs and having sex instead of playing with fidget spinners. It's a lot of Nicolas Cage screaming crazy fun.
Corner Store, what's up, man? Officially the first person from the old movie club on SourceFed Nerd to join me here on my movie review show. Welcome back, sir. Yeah, I love it. I've always loved your takes on movies. I mean, at one point the kids are smoking weed, so they are kind of having a little bit of fun with that. But you're right. But yes, what an excellent review. Glad to see you on board.
This week you need to stop what you're doing, clear your schedule, and go see Mom and Dad in theaters, because guys, it's really something special. If you're up for just the weirdest stories possible, starring Nick Cage at his Nick Cageiest levels of weirdness, you're going to enjoy it. Trust me, believe in me, let me know what you think.
Sam is my friend. Sam is my friend. Love you, Sam. Miss you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a bit. Listen to Sam, guys. Listen to Sam. He knows what he's talking about. Alright, well, Backsorn, it looks like Backsorn sent a video in, but it wasn't quite a review. So, Backsorn, next time you send a video in using the Stardust app and tagging me at Steve Zaragoza, make sure you talk about the movie so that you can be featured on the show. You crazy kid. Alright, guys, well, that's it for me. Go see Mom and Dad. As you've seen, the people from the Stardust community absolutely loved the movie. I love the movie. Everyone I saw it with loved the movie. It's just such a good film. It's available now. Check it out. You can watch it on iTunes or Amazon or wherever you get VOD movies. Anyway, so the next movie I will be reviewing here is Winchester. That's right, the horror movie Winchester comes out February 2nd. So make sure to check out that movie, and I'll have the review up shortly after the movie comes out. And if you'd like to get in on the episode discussion of that movie with me here, check out the description. Download the Stardust app, you click on that link that has my name in it, and that'll help me out. Record your reaction to the movie, tag me at Steve Zaragoza, send it off, bada bing bada bip, you'll end up in the show. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the Winchester Mansion. I just never know how to end these fucking things.